right, you are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So how's this for a story? One of my good friends, one of my very, very good friends, well, he has been stalked by a guy who went to his high school for about 2 or 3 years now. So a few years back, my mate started receiving Facebook messages from a dude he went to high school with. He wasn't even good friends with him or anything. He was just sort of a guy he knew at high school. They were in the same year. I think they hung out like once or twice. Anyway, this dude starts messaging my mate, and he's obviously into the meth. He loves a little bit of the fucking meth. And the messages are weird. Like, they're fucking strange messages. And then progressively, they get more and more, how would you say it? Strange or erotic? Either one. So this dude starts sending my mate like videos of him dressed up as a woman, like completely out of his mind on meth. I mean like 15, 20-minute fucking videos of the cunt dancing in like high heels in a G-string and shit like that with long hair. And he starts opening up to my mate. Obviously, my mate's sending it all to me because I need to know these things. I'm a comedian. I like to know the psyche, the human mind. And also, he's kind of hot. But, yeah, so this dude progressively starts getting more and more full on. He's like telling my mate he's the only one he trusts and all this sort of shit. This is what meth does to you. It really scrambles the old fucking mainframe. But he's telling him how he's like into trans now and he fucks everything and like it's getting full on. It's a cry for help. The dude is fucking twisted on that meth. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, my mate's like, eventually, my mate is like, I mean like a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, my mate's like, all right, that's enough. This is too much now, because it was getting fucking weird. It was almost at the stage where I was like, man, can you stop forwarding me this shit? It's freaking me out now. It didn't reach that stage. I never said that to him, but it was heading in that direction. And it was just dark shit. Like staring into the abyss type thing. You're sort of reading the messages and watching the shit he sends, and you're like, how is this dude going to climb out of this fucking hole? I don't know the dude. I think I might have met him once, but I don't know who the fuck he is. I had heard his name thrown around a little bit because I hung out with all the dudes that went to that school. But apart from that, I have no fucking idea who the cunt is. So eventually, 2 years too late, my mate's like, all right, that's enough. And I think the dude ended up going into a psych ward or something. He was fucked. Something like that. But there was no interaction for quite some time. Anyway, I wake up this morning and my mate has sent me a message. Well, he's forwarded me a message from the dude who went to his high school. I didn't know what it was to begin with. All I saw was like some pink hair. I was like, why is he sending me a picture of some chick with pink hair? So I opened it and just boom, right in my face. That chick with the pink hair is a dude and there's a fucking giant dick just staring at me in this fucking message. It's a video as well. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I press play. You have to press play. And so he's just like facing the camera like he's writing something. And so his dick's just right in the camera. He's got pink hair. He's on the ground. He's wearing a black ladies top. I can tell you this detailed. I can tell you everything this dude, chick, whatever, is wearing. So he's down on his knees and he's just sort of like wriggling around and the dick's just right in there, right in the screen. And I'm like, this guy has fucking lost the plot. So I continue watching. I'm like, I have to investigate the human psyche. And I'm just like, this is absolute fucking insanity. And the dude's got like this blank look in his face, but he's fucking wriggling around. And I'm like, what the fuck is he wriggling around doing? And then I realize he's bopping up and down on a fucking dildo. A fucking suction dildo he's got planted on the ground. And he's just He's just gyrating on the fucking thing. And so I continue watching. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it goes for a full fucking minute, and the dude is cooked. It is not a fucking pretty sight. And so I've watched it like 6 or 7 times just to make sure he's all right. But Jesus Christ, that was a fucked up Friday. That was a fucked up Friday for me, waking up to some fucking dude with pink hair and a dick in my face. But nothing is more fucked up Friday than sending a dude you barely know from high school a fucking video of you fucking a dildo on the ground. That is next level fucked up Friday. It's intense. I should put it on the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. I'll make a new level. I'll make a $50 level. It's a one-off payment, $50, and you have to live with the guilt. So do I. I'll have to live with the guilt. Profiting off some poor bastard's mental deterioration. But we do live in a capitalist society, and if I'm not going to cash in, who's going to cash in? But anyway, let's move on to the actual fucked up Friday for this week. If you have a fucking cracking story that you would like to send in to be read out on this podcast, head to my website, boylecomedy.com. Go to the Fucked Up Friday section, put in all your shit, write your story. You'll know what to do. If you can't figure it out, don't worry about the story. We can do without your story if you can't figure out the fucking website. So head there, head to the Patreon, support the podcast. There's going to be a new $50 tier you can join tomorrow. But if you can't join the $50 tier, just jump on the pint, buy Boyle a pint, 1 pint a month to keep the podcast fucking chugging along. So the links to the Patreon are on my website or in my social media bios, or just send me a message directly. We can have a chat and then I'll send you the link myself. Anyway, let's move on to this week's Fucked Up Friday. So this week's story was sent in by my man Jim Bob out there in Canada. Fucking Jim Bob sounds like he might be a trucker. Shout out to the Canadian truckers out there. You're doing God's work out there. I heard Justin Trudeau fucking speak the other day. What a pencil-necked geek. What a fucking wet hand fucking wanker. You know if you shook his hand, it would be sweaty and just wet. Nervous little fuck. I hope all Canadians that are listening are on board with that. Anyway, let's get on with the story. So this week's story begins with a preface. My oldest sister got engaged to a guy. She's a super straight edge government worker, and we assumed her fiancé Mark was the same. Fast forward to the bachelor party. My brother Ken, my brother-in-law Brandon, and I drive into Niagara Falls thinking we're off for a relatively calm bachelor party with Mark and some of his buddies from school. We show up later than the rest of the boys, probably around 5 p.m. on the Friday night. Upon arrival, we see approximately 12 other guys all partying pretty hard. They had 2 half kegs and had spent the last few hours polishing off the first keg and working on the second. It became very clear that this would not be as calm as it anticipated. We smashed the second keg pretty quickly and got onto the bottles. One guy at the party broke out some yayo. What the fuck is yayo? Is it Coke? Yeah, it must be, because the next part's, and basically let it snow for anyone and everyone interested. And everyone was interested. Next thing you know, we're all out of the bar getting pretty rowdy. We kept getting the group kicked out of every bar we went to because everyone was making bathroom trips every 10 minutes. I walked outside with my brother Ken for a smoke, and we see a tattoo parlor across the road from the bar. The seed was planted. Ken and I walk across the road and decide to get ass tattoos. The tattoo parlor wouldn't let us in because we were wasted. So we informed the group that we were off to find a place open past midnight. That's dedication. So it wasn't just like a spontaneous thing. The idea of getting an ass tattoo went in deep. It's like, all right, the tattoo parlor directly across the road from where we're having a dart is not open. Let's drive across town. We need these ass tattoos. So we Uber to two other parlors, until one lets us in. The owner of the place was big, like bodybuilder big. He was smoking a joint and drinking Kraken in the lobby of the shop when we showed up. We had to convince him we weren't a couple of gays. Just that must have been hard. How did you convince him you weren't gay? Did you stop holding hands? Did you show him your ID? Trust me, I'm not gay. I'm a forklift driver. That would have been enough. So weren't a couple of gays, just brothers. He reluctantly agreed to tattoo our asses. So one at a time, we laid down, we got an ass tattoo. Each tattoo took about 15 minutes, and my brother rode around the guy's mountain bike in the shop and played with his pit bull while I was on the table. During the tattoos, Brandon showed up and we shot the shit with the artist afterwards. We smoked a joint with him and then went to find the rest of the group. We found them at a strip club up the road. After a few rounds and dances, it was closing time, but the boys weren't ready for bed yet. After sharing the ass tattoo story, we had a bunch of strippers giving us a ton of attention, and we invited one back to the motel. Fucking... If I was a stripper, I would never fucking do that. The old, I'm gonna go to a bachelor party by myself. No thank you. I wouldn't even do it if I'm a fully clothed male. We had a bunch of guys and she agreed for $400 she would come back and do a private show in the room. So we all pitched in some money and off we went. We all arrived before she did. She got dropped off by her pimp. I guess it was a pimp. Anyway, she comes in, gives us the most pathetic private show I've ever seen. Mate. Just be happy if she popped a titty. She basically got naked. That's enough, isn't it? And sat making odd comments and asking odd questions. Yeah, because it's a fucking weird situation. She basically just moaned and played with her tits. Thank you. Here's $9,000. That's how much I would pay for that service. Anytime anyone got close to her, she would tell us to keep our distance. Yeah, you seedy fucks, of course. She doesn't want to get groped by some animals. After about 30 minutes of her kind of being a bitch and just blasting the rest of our yayo. Fuck, she got some money and some fucking Charlie. Brandon decided it was time to spice it up a bit. He made the decision that she at least needed a shine on them titties. He walked to the bathroom, grabbed a bottle of Irish Spring body wash. While she's sitting in the chair topless, he reaches above her with the bottle of body wash and squeezes it all over her chest. Fuck, she was mad. Yeah, she probably thought it was jizz to begin with. She basically lost her mind and yelled at all of us before throwing a shirt on and storming out of the motel room to get in the car with her pimp. She fucked off and the group of us just laughed our asses off. So the party wasn't all that straight-edged after all. And then he sent me a photo of his goddamn fucking ass, the cunt. That's enough. Ass there, fucking dildo there. That's enough, guys. Just fucking keep it together. Anyway, I'll chuck the picture of his tattooed goddamn ass on the Patreon. I'll post this on the Patreon so you can have a fucking geeze. Other than that, thanks for the story, Jim Bob. Thank you, Canada, for being heroes. Every last one of you goddamn fuckers. Anyway, that will do for tonight. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you the fuck later.